friends, and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another episode of our Technical Talks with Neeraj. And today we are talking about a very important topic for sure, which I recently came across in one of the discussions with few of the new aspirants to QA industry. And I heard that people were talking about QA is an easy job. And I'm not referring to specifically any developer or designer or anyone else who has been working in industry. Of course, we do have statements for many such people across the industry too. They say that testing is an easy job, anybody can do it, and there's nothing important or particular about it. Now, the most important thing what we are trying to talk about today is we just want to remove this illusion from the mindset of people across the world that testing is not an easy job. More importantly, to those aspirants, those newcomers to the industry who are thinking that I can get into IT industry by just learning testing and getting started there because someone told them that, hey, if you want to get into software industry, all you need to do is learn about testing and nobody will ask you anything and you can just be sitting there and doing some stupid executions and that's what your work role will be. And being a tester, I literally felt bad when I heard people talking about this and just wanted to make sure that we address people and let them know that testing is not an easy job, right? Testing is as complicated, in fact, is more complicated than a developer's or than a designer's job, like an architect's job. How? Let's talk about this in our today's discussion. This is Neeraj Kumar Singh and we are looking forward to talk about testing is not an easy job today in this particular episode. Number one thing, first of all, we people as QAs are someone who are equally responsible for this statement that testing is an easy job. The reason is we told the world that we only get involved when it comes to execution. We have let them feel that the only our involvement in the entire software development lifecycle is that we write the test cases and execute the test cases, report the defect, and sometimes follow up on the defect. But we don't have any other involvement, no other engagements in the entire software development lifecycle, and that's the reason why people feel that testers are only for writing test cases and executing them, that's their job. But let me tell you, there are many other QAs, which is majority of them today, which I'm happy and proudly saying that, are getting involved and getting to know what exactly is our job role in the software development lifecycle. In an entire lifecycle model, there are several activities which do happen. We have requirements gathering, we have designing, we have development, and then comes testing. Now, considering that testing is last in the queue, it does not mean that testing kicks off only there. It happens right from the day one. Of course, we talk about shift left, shift left, shift left, but people do not understand what exactly shift left is all about, right? Shift left simply means that a testing team does not wait in the queue, standing at the last that, hey, when everything gets over, then I'll start surprising you with a lot of other issues which you couldn't figure out, which requires certainly a lot of rework and it does not make any sense. So that's the reason what I'm trying to tell you today here is a tester's job is not limited to that last piece of work, which is testing. A testing team is responsible to get coordinated with the requirement, right? That particular requirement when a business analyst or PO is creating a user story, a tester is responsible to step in there at the same moment and review them. Of course, the BA or the PO will say that, hey, my drafts are still not stabilized, so there's no point reviewing them. But unless that happens, I'm helping him to build better cushions for the customer, right? So a tester can still review them, and I'm not reporting any defect there. I'm just trying to gain understanding that what kind of application are we talking about? And if you agree to this fact that a tester should know about the requirements before you can design your test cases. If you don't know what exactly is the product you're trying to test, I'm not sure what testing are we talking about, right? So requirement gathering, as in when we have some set of requirements available, we get started with evaluating those requirements, analyzing them, at least to gain understanding. And through that gain understanding process, if we have questions or if you find unclear requirements, if you find requirements which do not make any sense, or probably that is confusing in terms of whether it is in your scope or not, is what we are raising as questions and doubts and clarifications to the business analyst. And that's the first step when testing kicks off. Similarly, when these requirements are being finalized and moves into the design phase, a tester is someone who is responsible to review the design and find defects in that too. Now, of course, you may say that, hey, do you mean to say that a tester needs to know everything what an architecture knows? Not necessarily. But being a tester, you should be able to understand, okay? You can learn and understand what design is being built. So we are talking about the technical design documents like TDD, talking about those diagrams which represent, or talking about the various protocols or web services what are being used into consideration. If a tester doesn't really know what exactly that means, they will not be able to review it and will not be able to raise their concerns right in the beginning, right? Of course, you will find defects later during dynamic testing, but that is too late. You will have to do a lot of rework, which is not really recommended. So today, a tester really needs to know what exactly do you mean by design. You're not supposed to be an architecture, or you don't supposed to be an architect in order to create the design, but at least review the design to raise the concerns that, hey, I don't think this building of 10 floors will stand on 4 pillars. I think that's simple questions we can make to an architect as well. Taking that straightforward example, right? You're constructing a house. Your expectation is to go 10 floors, right? And your architect has told you just put 4 pillars. Now, even a silly, stupid guy can tell you that a 10-floor building will not sustain on 4 pillars. And that's what we are referring to. That a tester not really required to be aware of how to create a floor design, how to do the calibrations, how to do the cantilever calculations for architecture and all that sort of thing, but at least from the visibility, at least from the basic understanding, you can raise these questions back to the architect that, hey, I think a user needs to sign up in order to log into the application. Are you giving any other options to them to log in? Then the architect will come out with their points that, hey, you know what, as per the requirement, we are also allowing them to go with Google sign-in or Facebook sign-in or LinkedIn sign-in, Microsoft sign-in. Okay, now the tester gets a better clarity that I think I missed something out in the requirement, and the requirement talks about multiple sign-on options. Okay, and that all just happened because you got interfered during the design phase. You were not sitting idle waiting for development to complete all the work and come up with your executions and raise unwanted effects, which requires a lot of discussion, requires a lot of conflicts, and then rework. So you can avoid a lot of negativity from your process if you just get involved a bit earlier. Similarly, when it comes to development, people think that, hey, I'm not a developer, I'm a tester. My job is not here to write programs. Of course not. But do you understand the programming flow? You understand what exactly is the code being written, so you can participate in the code reviews. Okay? And yes, it is one of our core activities to participate in the code reviews just to understand and learn about what is the code being written for a particular functionality and raise your perception in terms of users that, okay, as a user, if I'm the person who is using this, I would even look forward to understand that what happens if I click on this button. You might have written a criteria or condition that if A is greater than B, then this should happen. What happens otherwise? I don't see that in your program. A performance tester can join in at the code review and ask them for the memory leaks, while pointers, right? Because that will impact their performance during the execution of performance testing. And we don't wait for it, right? We all should join right in the early phases so that we can point out these mistakes much earlier during the development phase itself. What is that we are trying to do? We are trying to do phase containment. The phase containment means that finding a defect in the same phase where it is being introduced. Okay? So that's what is basically a tester's job is. Now, if you come and tell me later today that, Neeraj, I want to become a QA, and I'm talking about 2023, of course, your job role is not limited to writing test cases. Need to learn how to read a requirement, how to review a requirement, how to review a design, how to review a code, and then raise your concerns at the respective phases of the life cycle. So yes, today, if I talk about like 2 to 3 years from, the 2020, people have understood that testers are not one who do not know technology at all. They are just, are equally technically strong. And I think Agile is pretty much doing that. Agile is letting every test engineers to be equally strong in all the manners and helping you to participate. But there are still people outside the world of technology that they think that testing is only the way by which I can get into IT industry. Now let me tell you, team, the world today is expecting more from you. If you just learn testing fundamentals, you know how to write test cases, you know how to execute test cases and report defect, sorry, that's not going to help you become a qualified tester. In order to become a qualified tester, you need to know fundamentals of many other things. That what is APIs, what is databases, what is interconnections, what is integrations, what are interfaces, how these systems work. If you understand any random application, that how exactly does it function, how does exactly it work, that is what we need to have with us. That will make you a good tester, in fact, a qualified tester to play the role of QA in the world today. So in certain context, it certainly makes the job easier for someone looking forward to become a QA that, okay, I'm just not a testing guy. I know what is requirements. I know what is design. I know what is development. That means if I put all the four things together, now let me make that statement once again that we are talking about QA to be more complicated than any individual in the entire process. They need to know pinch of everyone. They are just not architect. They are just not developers. They're just not PO or BA. They are amalgam of everything. And that's what makes you a better QA. Trust me or not, today, just because of this illusion, just because of this myth, the world has started thinking that QA will help me get into the software industry. And the point is, people are just like getting flooded towards learning testing and gaining understanding about it and then competing in the interviews, but they're getting rejected because the team is no longer expecting people to just write test cases. And that's the reason I thought I'll just talk about this today so that it helps any individual who's looking forward to become a tester to be aware of that, hey, if I'm trying to become a QA, I need to know something beyond the fundamentals of QA. So that's the reason I would recommend any individual who wants to become or build a career in being, QA or as a test engineer, please look forward to add more value. Look forward to what is basics of DevOps, understand a basic programming language. Any language should be fine. Or if you're talking about architectures, you need to understand what is technical design document, what do we basically write there, what are the different algorithms, workflow diagrams, data flow diagrams. Just understanding. I'm not writing or not telling you that you should be responsible for creating them. Your responsibility is to read and understand it. And in your understanding, if you have concerns, and that's what you call it as static testing. So yes, your testing kicks off right in the beginning on the day one of the project. Your involvement matters right from there, and it continues till you sign off on the product. So testing is not an easy job. Testing is much more complicated than a developer. I think this should also influence people to understand that why should I look forward to become a QA? Because my technical perspectives will be more competitive than anyone else. So you are going to be a software development engineer in testing. I hope you understand this position these days. The reason is today, nobody is looking for a QA engineer. They're looking forward to SDET, which means software development engineer in test. That means you know everything about the overall project, but your responsibility is to validate it. So that's the most important and crucial thing which we wanted to convey to all of you. So I hope you had a really wonderful interaction on this particular conversation. If you'd like to have more such conversation, or if you have any such questions with you which you want me to give you a clarity on, please comment them below. I'll take them up in our next conversation and start talking about those things too. So that's all from this particular tutorial, team, and we certainly look forward to come up with more and more content for you so that you can find great responses, great justifications for what you do, right? So that's all from this particular episode, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.